Thank you for listening to the Business Blast podcast. So for all my listeners out there that have been wanting to do your own podcast, I'd like to introduce to you Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. So before I found Anchor, I had never actually done a podcast because all the research that I had gathered made it seem very complex. Then I found Anchor, and Anchor makes podcasting extremely simple. So if you want to do your own podcast, go to anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with all the resources you need to become a successful author. You can learn more about Authors Unite and join the free community at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today I have Lauren Norton with us. She is the founder of Grandeur and Grandeur, where she uses her experiences with an autoimmune condition to help her readers discover new ways to lead healthy, positive lives. So welcome to the show, Lauren.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. Grateful to have you here. We'll dive into the first one. The first question I have for you, Lauren, is what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
So, like you said, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. This happened when I was 23, and it's usually seen in young children and goes away after 6 months. So I had it for 3 years. I'm finally going into remission, but instead of letting the fear and pain from that condition keep me from working towards my passions, I chose to focus on the positive aspects of each day. And that taught me that although sometimes it is hard to see the positivity in life, keeping that positive outlook can really boost your mental and physical health.
And what's the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Be authentic. What makes you and your business unique, and why should they trust you or your product to solve their problems? Authenticity is key when building relationships with your consumers. If they trust you, they will work with you. Influencer marketing is a great example. Their audiences are built off of trust and transparency, and it converts both for them and the brands they represent.
And what is your best piece of overall business advice, so not necessarily industry specific?
Avoid burnout. So you can do all the research, run all the tests, create all the marketing, etc. But if you're burnt out, you aren't going to do quality work. Take time for yourself, invest time in other passions, take a break, and come back to work with new ideas and the energy to improve your business.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Go with the flow. So I used to plan everything to perfection, but life doesn't work that way, as shown by getting an autoimmune disease. So be prepared, work hard. When something doesn't go as planned, if you don't meet your sales quota, miss a deadline, whatever, take a break, reassess, get the project done, and make sure the same thing doesn't go wrong next time.
And in your opinion, what's the key to happiness?
Well, I could talk all day on that one, but check out the blog if you want details. For now, I'll just say your outlook is the key. So choose to see the beauty in every day, and you'll be happier for it.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
Recently, I read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and it opened my eyes to the organic nature of creativity. So as a writer and a blogger, I find myself getting really frustrated when I have writer's block. And Big Magic helped me learn how to let go of that frustration and just allow creativity to come to me. Elizabeth Gilbert does a much better job of explaining it, so you'll have to read the book yourself to get the gist.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible, by Audrey Hepburn. I'm a strong believer that you can do anything you set your mind to as long as you work hard, stay positive, and keep trying. Realistically, you might not be the best at it, but you can do it and be happy in your success.
Yeah, I love that quote. Thank you so much for coming on, Lauren. The last question I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find you online?
www.glitterandgrandeur.com. Grandeur is spelled Grandeur. That's my website. And then I'm also glitter_grandeur on Instagram.
Perfect. Thanks again for hopping on. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.